Tonight, the Shakahola horror is getting more horrid. By this evening, a total of 73 had so far been confirmed dead in the stranger-than-fiction tragedy in a hitherto little-known village in Kilifi County. And sadly, this number is likely to rise. It is shocking enough that these needless deaths happened in the name of religion, manufactured in the twisted mind of one Paul Mackenzie with the cruel irony of the cult's name, Good News International Church. Tonight, there are more questions than there could ever be answers, as the sheer scale of what has rightly been called a massacre continues to unfold. Ladies and gentlemen, this incident has revealed the worst of our society and raised more red flags about how we live and are governed by those in positions of authority. First, it is now in the public domain that the self-styled man of God has been carrying out his activities for many years, and that the bizarre turn in his cult became bare as early as April this year. Yes, that is a whole 1 year of a seemingly unhinged religious outfit luring gullible faithful in the dastardliest of acts in the name of God. Just where were our intelligence officers? Don't they live in communities anymore? Are they out of budget? Did they know something and did nothing? How could such an elaborate, deathly scheme have been planned and executed right under their noses? And is there anyone being held to account? Yet, in spite of these many disturbing questions, what we have seen in the last few days can only be too little, too late. As though this broke yesterday, the various government leaders are now falling over themselves, condemning this, directing that. One may be forgiven to ask, just where was the government when all this was happening? Where was the taxpayer-funded National Intelligence Service when all this was going on? Where were the National Government Administration officers? Where were the teams attached to county government leadership to gather some information and share it upwards? You see, one can understand if it was one random killing or even two worshippers dying in the hands of this hellish cult. But 73? Well, the head of state has now said Mackenzie belongs in prison, and he is right if the courts are able to nail the cult leader. But is that all he should be saying? Are there any heads that will roll? Is there a special inquiry he wants to see? And by the way, even the Speaker of the Senate, Amason Kingi, has spoken tough on it. But one would recall that just until the other day, he was the governor of Kilifi County, where this saga is unfolding. Did he know anything when he was at the helm of the county? This is not a blame game. This is about accountability in public office. Then, that solemn duty to render public service with distinction and fall on your sword if you don't. The Inspector General of Police, Japhet Kome, for instance, arrived at the scene fully clad in fatigue. But should he not, in fact, be robed in shame? The shame of such a tragic occurrence happening under his watch, with not much to show for mitigation of the unbelievable occurrences. When speaking to the media and to the public by extension, he, among other things, said, quote, "The police were not there to point fingers or shift blame." But with all due respect, isn't that what is expected? Pointing fingers at the actual perpetrators and bringing them to book? Tomorrow, the Interior Cabinet Secretary, Kithure Kindiki, is expected to make an appearance at the scene, again, way after the fact. Ladies and gentlemen, we know that no amount of questions or answers can bring back the tens of loved ones families have lost these past couple of days and weeks in this Shakahola tragedy. But accountability will say that government agencies know they failed the people of Kilifi and the country at large. That is the least a government, any government, can do under such circumstances. That is our memo tonight.
Be careful with this religious